Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, and geeks alike. That's better. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. We're back after a long break, which wasn't intended. Just things just didn't happen the way we wanted them to. So had a bit of a shake-up, and we're going to change a few things up around here. So let's start with formalities. Hi, Keith. How are you doing? You're not feeling sick or having to go somewhere that you don't really want to go?
No. Yes, unfortunately, I got the lurgies, proper lurgies. I mean, proper lurgies. And then, had to do things that you don't want it to do, but when you're married, you do it. I'm good. I'm back. I'm good. I'm healthy. Or I'm at least not sick anymore. I'm good. How's you doing?
I had the norovirus.
Yes.
Fun. I had to come home from London on the train, and it was the most harrowing journey of my life. Because this is the thing, the first train that I got, because of the nature of it being the London Overground, didn't have any toilets on it. Then I got to Clapham Junction, and the toilets, if you know at Clapham Junction, are like on the very far side of Clapham Junction. Then I got on a train, and the toilets were all out of commission on that train. And then I got on a second train, and the toilets were out of commission on the second train. And then I got to the train station, and the toilet was out of commission there. And then I jumped in my car and just went, please, just stay in, all the way home. And then I got home, and then I had some quality time.
There's some interesting sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So now we've covered the new podcast that we're calling What Ails You This Week?
What bodily functions failed you?
What bodily functions broken this week?
You can tell we're in our mid-40s.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So, do we want to discuss with the ladies and gentlemen? And hi, Beth, by the way.
Yes. Okay.
As to what we are going to be doing.
So we got putting together a new format, guys. Like this, we're going to start off with some news. Keith's picked some choice articles, which I'll read out and probably bugger up because I'm live, unlike I do on the other one where I get to take it again and again and again. And then we're going to talk about what we've been watching. And we're supposed to talk about nice things towards the end. So maybe something from the past that we're rewatching. I think we're going to do Harry Potter, aren't we? I think this.
We're going to start with that, but we can do what I was watching whilst I was dying, because I read a load of Stargate stuff, and I don't know, it was really weird.
Funny.
Yeah, go on. What?
Because my nice thing I've been doing is watching Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah, me too. So we can talk about that. I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I've been doing that.
Okay, we'll talk about Stargate Atlantis. Also, I will briefly get on my soapbox before we do the nice thing, because I have one thing I'd like to complain about. I
have something for my soapbox, but it will last less than 1 minute.
Okay, cool. So, I think the first thing we need to do is we need to just jump into the news. And I've got no
jingle.
Nothing to. Oh, I suppose we could do this. Brave enough to follow us on social media? Why don't you follow us on Twitter at Monkey Nut Punch? Thanks. All right.
It's kind of out of date.
I know it's out of date, but it's the first one on there that's anyway. So, Foundation, the Apple TV series drama, is set for a significant overhaul in its upcoming third season. David S. Goyer, the series co-creator, is stepping back from his showrunner's duties and will continue to contribute as a writer. Executive producer Bill Post is poised to take over the reins from Goyer as the show prepares to resume production. Despite stepping away from his day-to-day responsibilities, Goyer remains creatively involved, contributing scripts from Los Angeles, whilst Bost, who's the new guy, will oversee photography in Prague. The change comes amidst a report of budgetary clashes between Goyer executives at the show's production company as the streaming service continues to scrutinize TV budgets more closely. Foundation has already shot its third season before entering production hiatus due to the Hollywood strikes. The series, starring Lee Pace and Jared Harris, spans centuries to tell the story of exiles attempting to rebuild civilization after a galactic empire falls. Production delays were attributed to budget and physical production issues, with the cast and crew sent home until resolutions were found. The shift in leadership marks a pivotal moment for Foundation as it aims to continue its ambitious storytelling whilst navigating the challenges of modern TV production. The first 2 seasons of Foundation are available now on streaming, and this is brought to you by Digital Spy. So, my thoughts when it comes to Foundation: I don't like it. I think it's boring. It's like a cheese sandwich with no marge or butter in or spread. It's dry and boring and dull. But Keith likes it.
I thought the second series was better than the first. I wouldn't go too far. The thing is, right, when you do not have, when most of your stable, sci-fi watches have all been destroyed, this is at least an attempt at sci-fi that isn't totally woke. And, Lee Pace as the Emperor and the concept of the Emperor in this, which is not in the book, is quite an interesting one. It's got Jared Harris in it, who I like in almost everything he's ever been in. And he's interesting in this. The final episode of season 2 is pretty fucking epic, actually, and it's worth a mention. I picked this story partly because, it went into production of the third series, and they're hiding behind the fact that the strikes caused the delay. But then it started shooting, then they halted shooting, and no one particularly knew why, although it was rumored to be around budgets. Now, Apple cutting back budgets on this show, I can see. The trouble is, to produce this show is expensive, and it needs to be expensive because it needs that look. It is epic. It is set in a galactic empire, so you do need that vastness that you get when you try to shoot a story set in a galactic empire. So I am concerned that if they're cutting budgets, that means that the show will lose some of its production. Yeah. And I think if it does, then it'll go back to being even more dull and boring. Look, I understand why people think this is slow and boring. I get it. I enjoy it because of the people that are in it. And that's the main reason I just chose this story, because I found it interesting. But the fact that he's stepping back basically means he's lost the battle. So I don't know about it going forward.
I think you're right. I think he lost the battle because he probably asked us to maintain the budget, and they went, no, you've got to cut it by 20% or whatever. You've got to cut it by 20% because we're doing this, we're filming this. You're into season 3. We're not seeing any kind of return. There's no buzz. There is no buzz about Foundation. Full stop. So because there's no buzz about Foundation, it's not being talked about on Twitter. It's not being scrutinized by the regular reply guys you get on YouTube. And it's not being held in high regard. It's not winning awards of sorts. It just looks like an outlay that's going nowhere. And because of that, I think that's probably why they've gone, right, now let's start trimming the fat here. A lot of companies are doing this. And it's ironically, because this will tie into my little soapbox rant, which crosses over Halo Season 2 and a thing that Paul Chatto said about, syndicated television when it was on network TV. And how it acted as a quality control. But I don't want to go into that. But when it comes to Foundation, I don't really care. I know you do. I'm sorry, Keith. I know you do. I feel bad for you. I'll give you a virtual pat on the shoulder and say everything will be
No,
fine.
I found some of the concepts in it interesting, and the second season was going somewhere. The first season, the first couple of episodes of the first season were quite good. It then kind of died completely, and I think it was the final episode that got things going again, which is not good for a season. Completely understand and respect why people switched off from this. The second season was better, but again, there was a bit in the middle where it was a bit too slow. I mean, here's the thing: you could have put what happened in season 2 of Foundation. You could have put into 6 to 8 episodes and not lost a lot. I will say that. I will say that.
Okay. All right. So we move on to our next story. This is about Fantastic Four. Marvel has officially announced the cast for the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot, set to bring Marvel's first family to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Includes Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach
Neil.
Ben Grimm.
It's Neil. It's the guy that was in Star Wars Andor that we said looked a bit like Neil. Do you remember?
Okay.
Sorry, Neil is a friend of ours. It's that good.
All right.
It's that good.
All right. So we've got Pedro Pascal, who's known for his roles in Narcos, Game of Thrones, and The Last of Us. He will portray Reed Richards, the stretchiest superhero known as Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby, celebrated for her performances in Princess Margaret in The Crown. Her roles in the Mission Impossible films will play Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman who can turn invisible and generate force fields from her nose. Joseph Quinn, who captured audiences' hearts as Eddie Munson in Stranger Things, takes the role of Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, capable of combusting into a burning hot flame. And Ebon Moss-Bachrach, recognised for his work in The Punisher and The Bear, will portray Ben Grimm, being transformed into a nearly Hulk-sized thing. The cast announcement follows much speculation and anticipation amongst fans who would embody these iconic characters in the latest cinema iteration. The Fantastic Four reboot is set for release on the 25th of July 2025, promising to introduce Marvel's first family to a new generation of fans within the expansive cinematic universe, which is dead. Dead. It's just so dead. I just want to see Vanessa Kirby in tight lycra.
I don't know the guy that I like the actor that played Eddie Munson in Stranger Things. I'm just not sure.
Too. I don't think it's Johnny. Yeah,
no,
not sure he is.
Johnny's a pretty boy, and with all due respect to him, he's not a pretty boy. Now, again, the guy that's playing the
you're ugly, mate. Keith,
no, he's not. He's not.
From Keith, he says you're ugly.
It's not that he's ugly. I wouldn't. I'll never go. He's not your sort of, shaven chest, pretty boy, Baywatch style running down the beach kind of guy. And that's what I mean by that. The guy that is playing the Thing, right? He's not a beefy guy. And, although you sometimes find it hard to believe that a big beefy guy would be an astronaut, but that's another matter. But I do like this actor, and he is good in The Bear. Now, The Bear is something we don't really talk about here because it
sounds like a gay comedy.
No, it's not. It is actually quite an interesting. No, it's not. Well, it is. It has comedic moments, but it's about a restaurant in Boston, and there's a lot around it, and it's got the guy from the American version of The Shameless, who is quite a likable actor as well in this. But The Bear's worth a watch, and he is really fucking good in The Bear. And you could definitely see here, he's definitely got the strength and the voice to do it. But once you put him in the whatever suit that he's going to be wearing to be the Thing, he's going to have to be padded up, and that's the thing I don't understand. But look, he is a good actor, and he's bloody good in The Bear. But
it'd probably be CGI.
Pedro Pascal as Richard Reed. That's the one I don't get. Reed Richards, sorry. That is the one I don't get. That is the one that I just can't get my head around.
Because Disney love Pedro Pascal. They got a thing for Pedro. They love a bit of Pedro.
It doesn't work for me.
It's
and
right. It's annoying. It's annoying because if you'd have said this 6 years ago, me and you would be excited as all hell for this.
Mm.
But they've killed everything. The only thing that's going to be any good, and I mean, it's going to be not as. It won't be as good as the first Deadpool. It won't be as good as the second Deadpool, but it'll still be a good film. Will be Deadpool 3.
I've got a sneaking suspicion it might be better than Deadpool 2. I don't know. I'm hoping it's better than Deadpool 2, but with the inclusion of a few people that are going to be in it, I think it could be better than Deadpool 2. It won't be as good as Deadpool 1, but nothing ever will be as good as Deadpool 1 because we never had anything like that. But as long as it maintains that level, I'm happy with it. I like the trailer. The trailer to Deadpool 3 does make me laugh. And they've gone interestingly with the time what's its face look from
Time
Loki.
Variance Authority.
Yeah, I suspect that we might get a cameo from him, which could be interesting. Look, as long as it maintains its wit and they allow him to take the piss, I think he could be really good.
Okay, going away from this, going back to the Fantastic Four, what are your feelings?
Meh.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well,
all my feelings are like this.
Except for what's her face in a skin tight costume. I'm fucking down for that.
Exactly. That's the only thing that I'm really interested in. That's it, Disney. Yeah, killed the Marvel Universe. Deadpool's going to try and kill the Marvel Universe, but you actually did kill the Marvel Universe. So we'll move on to our next story, which is the CW's decision to cancel Superman and Lois after its 4th season has officially been confirmed by network executives to be a strategic move by Warner Brothers Discovery. This decision was not due to budgetary constraints as previously expected, but rather to clear a path for the upcoming Superman Legacy film directed by James Gunn. The revelation opens up a broader conversation about the impact of cinematic ambitions on television franchises, the strategy behind consolidating the superhero narratives, and what it means for the future of superhero media. Basically, they're doing the reason we can't have a Batman TV series, which would work because him being a detective, he could investigate a crime each week, and you can run the Joker through it. It worked with it. Okay, it kind of worked with Gotham, but if you had Batman in there proper, it would have really worked. You don't even need Batman in there. You can have Batman in there for like 15% of it, and you can have Bruce Wayne being a detective alongside Jim Gordon and the villains doing stuff. And that would work, and we'd really enjoy that, yeah? But we can't have that, and that's what the reason looks like we can't have Superman and Lois. His gay lover, which they probably do, I'll be honest with you. So it wasn't budgetary, which unlike with Foundation we talked about earlier, would have made sense. Yeah. So you're running out of cash, or you've had to have your money withdrawn or whatever. But it is a little sad that one person's creative vision has now wiped out someone else's creative vision. And again, I would love a high quality Batman TV series. Do you know how many people would watch that? Seriously.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. No, I agree with you completely, everything you said. I'm going to go on as far as to say my favourite person playing Superman is this guy. This guy is a brilliant Superman. And I think he's probably the best since Christopher Reeves. And, I've quite enjoyed this series. It's had its moments, don't get me wrong. There's been moments in it which have made me cringe. But on the whole, I've quite enjoyed this. They grounded Lois more, right? And they gave by exploring him having a family, they made him vulnerable, which makes him interesting. So this has made the Superman character interesting in again, because I know your problem with Superman, and it's kind of my problem with him. This has been watchable. Taylor, what's his name? Whoever the guy, he is a really likable guy. And he plays Superman really well. And I've enjoyed him far more than any other screen Superman since Christopher Reeves. And I don't want to diss what's his face, because it wasn't his fault that he wasn't given the chance to play a real Superman. But That and I disagree with what Gunn did. I don't think we need a Superman Legacy film. I'm really not interested in it. But I've enjoyed Superman and Lois. Go on.
A Superman film. If you want to do a Superman film, you can set it up, yeah? First film, he gets together, end of the film, he gets together with Lois. Lex Luthor realizes he's a threat. Lex Luthor then tries to do something about him in the second film. Him and Lois get together, but things keep them apart. Third film, Lex runs for president because he wants to stop Superman, and him and Lois actually get together and have like a proper relationship. Fourth one, they get married. Lex gets arrested, and then the other one he breaks out, and then like kind of, as that happens, fucking Darkseid turns up. I can write. Anyway,
we're getting Lex Luthor in season 4, because season 3 at the end, launched Lex Luthor in the sort of Berlanti universe, this different version of him. Now we had the guy that was in who plays what's his face in the Orville and was in The Expanse, who you really like, big I forgot, my brain has just gone dead.
The one
big black guy. No, black guy.
Oh, Fred Johnson.
I can't remember the actor.
So
he was the bad guy in season 3, but again, he wasn't. What I liked about season 3 of Superman and Lois was that he was a 3-dimensional antagonist, not a villain, because you understand some of his motivation and even to a certain extent sympathize with it. So I've quite liked Superman and Lois, and I knew it was going to get canned because I knew that Gunn was going to completely get rid of everything that's online. And everything else in the Berlanti universe deserved to die a long time ago. The Flash went terrible a long, long time ago. But this has been quite good. And I liked this. And I'm gutted that it's going. And I have no interest in Legacy. And you're right about Batman. They should do a Batman detective series. They should do a series called Detective Comics and bring in an early version of Batman. You don't need Boy Wonder. You don't need all that bullshit. Go back to the original incarnation. That is a TV series right there that will be a hit. And every bloody geek will watch it, as long as you don't wokeify it, as long as you just look at the original material.
Respect the source material. Anyway, let's move on to our next one, which is Cillian Murphy is set to reunite with director Danny Boyle and writer Alex Garland for the much-anticipated sequel 28 years later.
I know I can't get
the reunion marks a significant moment as it's brought together the original team behind the groundbreaking 28 Days Later. A film that not only launched Cillian Murphy's career, but redefined the zombie genre, having running zombies, even though they weren't zombies, they were rage victims. As we explore the exciting development, let's discuss. So, Cillian Murphy, good. I like him, great actor. Danny Boyle, good director. Alex Garland. Okay, Cillian Murphy and Danny Boyle. Yeah. What was Alex Garland? What was it? He did that one with the women people, and it was just weird on Netflix. And he's doing the American Civil War film. Yeah.
But 28 Days Later was an amazing film. 28 Weeks Later, not so much.
28 Weeks Later is not as bad as you think. Go back and watch it, seriously.
All right. I thought 28 Days Later was amazing. And, The Walking Dead pays tribute to this film. If you're a Walking Dead fan and you've never seen 28 Days Later, go and watch it and then you'll understand. Because The Walking Dead, the comic and the TV series both pay tribute to this film in the very first episode. You'll understand if you've never seen it.
Yes, it does.
And I mean, this was the thing. I put this in because I'm like, And believe it or not, it is 28 years. Yeah, it is 28 years, which is I'm still.
No, it's not 28 years. It's not 28 years. It was 2001, wasn't it?
No, it's a 90s
It was just,
film.
there was a. Oh, hang on. I watched it, my friend. I'm going to have to look at this up. I have to Google this. I'm sure it's early 2000s, very early 2000s. Except 28 days later. 2002.
I thought it was 2002. Is it 2002?
No.
Well, it's 20.
I remember watching
2 years.
22 years. Well, you can get right 28. Round it up, round and narrow, get the work stuff sorted.
I think this could be good. Danny Boyle, I think it could be good. But you're right. There is that Alex Garland bit. And then I was like, yeah, I know.
But then again, if he's working with Danny Boyle might be one of those people who can rein him in, if that makes any sense. Might help him stop doing silly things. Because if that's the case, then sort it out. It'll be fine. I like 28. I like 28 days later. I like 28 weeks later. They set Jeremy Renner on fire as he pushes a car towards the end. That's just amusing.
I just want to address one thing in the chat before we.
Oh no, Keith, no.
Am I not?
Okay. No, we weren't going to do the chat until we got through the news things, and now because I was going to chop this up and put it into little videos, and I can't do that.
Sorry. Well, you can.
I can't fucking take it. I can't fucking take him anywhere. I can't take him anywhere. Seriously, I can't take him anywhere. Anyway, we'll go to the chat in a bit. So the next, so yeah, 28 weeks later, I think, I kind of like the idea of that. It'll be interesting. So yeah, it's time to go on to the next story, which is all about Michael J. Fox, if I can bring up my notes. So yeah, so a truly inspiring moment from the British Academy of Film Awards, or the BAFTAs, where legendary Michael J. Fox made a surprise appearance that captured the hearts of everyone in attendance. Fox, known for his iconic role in Back to the Future and his courageous battle with Parkinson's disease, was there to present an award for Best Film. His appearance was not only a testament to his enduring spirit, but a highlight to the power of cinema to unite and inspire. Join us as we... Oh, God, I'm not supposed to read that bit. So, yeah, we've got this bit here. So, he turns up the BAFTAs. Was he supposed to?
I don't know. I mean, I tell you...
Sorry.
It was terrible, the BAFTAs, really. And you realise just how wokeified Tennant has become. I'm sorry, I've lost all respect for David Tennant, especially in this BAFTAs. And some of the jokes he was telling just didn't land at all. But no, it wasn't billed. Whether it was a surprise, whether it was intentional, I don't know. I mean, he did have a film that was nominated, I believe, in one of them, which was the film on Apple TV called Still, which, if you haven't seen, is worth a watch. If you're a Michael J. Fox fan, you should see it. And it was genuinely a good moment. And now I like Michael J. Fox, love Michael J. Fox. He's in one of my favorite films of all time, and I know Chuck's going to be jumping at the bit on this. But it was just good to see him. And yes, look, he was shaking all over the place, and he was, bless him. But he got up there, he presented an award, and respect, and he got a massive standing ovation, and so he damn well should. It was just a lovely moment in a shitty award shows, but then all award shows are shitty. But it was just a good moment. And he presented an award that probably was deserved. He did. It was Best Picture, and it went to Oppenheimer. So, which, considering the cinematic films that you had to pick from last year, yeah, he deserved it. Okay. Now, I mean, but what? Go on. I mean, what do you think?
Award shows are dead. First thing. That's my first thought. Was when you heard the award show. So part of me is the cynical charcoal part of my heart says, "Oh, they just did this for fucking publicity, so they could have someone talk about something somewhere." Yeah, that's what what I believe. Yeah, that's what my blackened heart by all these horrible films and the way that Hollywood's behaved in the last years and whatnot it believes. Yeah. So I'm a little cynical when it comes to this, but at the same time too, he did get up and he did do it, and they did give him a standing ovation, which is cool. And that's something that I suppose should be celebrated.
I understand the cynicism. I think there is some, promoting his docu film, and I think there's some of that as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up at the Oscars. But you know what? Screw it. It brings awareness.
Part of me is like, kind of, if he turns up at the Oscars, is Will Smith going to slap him?
Well, Will Smith is banned. But,
that would just be it's just like this delivers a beat down on Michael J. Fox to finish his fucking career off finally. That would be very amusing.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought I'd include that in there. We're gonna move on to the next story. I think all you need to do is read the title on this one, and it says it all.
Rachel Ziegler beating Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves has the internet accusing People's Choice Awards of being rigged. The surprising outcome of the 2024 People's Choice Awards, where Rachel Ziegler clinched the Action Movie Star Award, beating out heavyweights like Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves, who is John Wick, who everyone loves. This unexpected victory has sparked a wave of controversy and accusations of the awards being rigged, igniting a fiery debate across the internet, especially on platforms like Twitter. Because she is not a fucking action star.
Right.
I have birthed turds that can do more.
And the character isn't right. Okay, so this is order, right? One of the top films last year, Mission Impossible, right? Followed closely by John Wick 4. Okay, one of the worst performing films last year was The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Snakes and Fire, or whatever it was called, right?
Snakes and Ladders.
Right. Okay, so I have read the book, and I have seen this film. Sail of the Seven Seas, because I will not watch a movie officially with her in it. Just won't. And that is partly why that film flopped. Because so let's get this right. The film flopped. So please tell me how she won a People's Choice Award. A film that no one went to see, right? The star in that film that no one went to see beat a film that everybody went to fucking see. How is that the People's Choice? I think some brown envelopes that old Mr. Bobby's been throwing out to try and rehabilitate her, right? Which I'd be saying, so that their Snow White film does not flop so fucking hard that, I mean, I'll tell you what, the Snow White film, it's not going to get released. And if it does, it will flop completely. And this doesn't work. No one believes it.
I'd say it'll flop so hard that Pele will be doing adverts for fucking erectile dysfunction for it.
But I mean, People's Choice Award, it's so obviously rigged, right? It's so obviously rigged now that it doesn't even get it. And here's the thing, right? The character that she plays wins the Hunger Games, right? Spoiler, but that's not the end of the film. By luck. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't kill anyone, right? She doesn't stab anyone. She doesn't fight anyone. She wins it by luck, right? It's actually Snow that lets her win, right? And it's the same in the book. The only thing I could say about this film is it follows the fucking source material quite well, like far more than I've seen in a long time. But that's not the point, right? She doesn't do anything. She runs away and hides. That's not an action star. That's not John Wick taking on 100 people and killing them all and throwing them down steps. That's not a guy jumping, riding his motorbike off the side of a mountain 8 bloody times. Really? Right? And it's really the actor and not the goddamn stunt double. It really was Tom Cruise riding his motorbike off the side of the mountain. How doesn't he fucking win it? Bobby Iger,
I don't
brown
know.
envelopes.
He should have won it for just for that thing. Okay. I don't like Rachel Ziegler.
I don't either.
I think sometimes people get pushed in positions which they clearly haven't earned. And because they haven't earned said position, causes an issue. All right, Keith. Now, this is the point that we were going to go through some of the comments. Hang on a second.
I was just going to say, don't go watch Madam Web. It's shit.
Yes. Right. So let's look at the comments. Start the music. We got production values here. That's a copyright claim straight away. So let's start off with Biffa. Hi, Biffa. He's taking the piss because he's been watching Constellation on Red Fruit Plus. That should be Strawberry minus. Foundation stinks. Thank the Lord.
I will say, I started watching Constellation. Amazing production values and seeing ISS, cool. I cannot stand Naomi whatever her name is. Her surname, I can't stand her English accent. It just grates me. I'm sorry, it just grates me. Anyway, yeah, whatever.
Slow and mediocre. I have to. Keith will love it. If it's slow and mediocre, no, Keith is there.
Thank you.
Hi, Chuck. I've been watching your Iceland videos, and I think it's very unfair that you put the video out of your wife failing to speak Icelandic, but didn't put one of yourself out. I don't like that, and I think we should see at least some outtakes of you trying. Interested in your thoughts on Madam Web. We almost went to see it. Mixed reviews. Don't. Just don't. I suggest looking at the corner in the room for about 20 minutes. It's exactly the same effect. Maybe not as funny. And we got Chuck here that says ditto thoughts on Madam Web.
I've seen about 15 minutes of it and I switched it off. It was that terrible. Acting's terrible. The only thing that's worth watching in that movie is Sydney, Sydney Sweeney, I think her name is. It's the only reason.
All right, so we got Biffa. Fantastic Four has already been done. Do we really need another one? But this time more lame.
6 years ago,
I would like a Fantastic Four that works, but you're right. People don't like it, even though it's Marvel's first family. It offers an opportunity to reboot the universe, shall we say? Go on.
You see, that's the speculation. They think that Deadpool 3 is now going to be used to really reboot the MCU because they're finally admitting that the MCU has failed, right?
I would love that.
They've already said that the title of the next Avengers film is not going to be the Kang Dynasty anymore, so Kang's out, and they're not doing Kang. They're not recasting, they're not doing it. I think Deadpool 3 is set. Will it save the MCU? Not until you fire Kevin Feige. I know he did a good job for 10 years, right? Then he went mad. And I don't think there's any clawing back
apparently, from that. Kevin Feige was held in place by the Marvel Creative Committee, who were there from phases 1 to 3 and then disappeared for phase 4. So whoever they were, bring them back.
I've got an idea, right? Invent human cloning technology, clone Tony Matthias, and put him in charge of everything.
I don't know anything about comics. It's hello to Steve. Hi, Steve. Okay, so it's all right. We've got lots of chatting amongst themselves here. New Fantastic Four will probably be worse than Madam Web. It'll be as good as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I imagine. You'll request the sweet release of death.
The problem is it's Pedro Pascal for me. I can go with the other castings. I can see taking Johnny Storm in a slightly different direction. I can live with that. I can live with the dude playing the Thing. I cannot live with Pedro Pascal playing the world's most intelligent man. He's a moron.
When you say it like that, but Pedro Pascal can put himself in metaphorical knots, so he does have stretchy abilities. So yeah, Madam Web is the worst film ever. I might go and watch that tonight just for a laugh. I might go and watch that. I might just be sitting in an empty cinema, chuckling to myself like the Joker. Both the movies make no sense. Actors are sleepwalking. Okay, cool. Oh look, Henry Cavill is the best Superman ever. I don't know, Christopher Reeves. It's a toss-up between the two. I think if we had Henry Cavill do the first Superman film that Christopher Reeve's done, that would be a good judge then.
I'm not sure you can. I'm not sure you can say that. He could have been, but he was not in. He wasn't given the chance. I'm sorry, but both every time he was on screen, it didn't work. I think he could have been a good Superman, and I'm annoyed that he wasn't given a chance in a film that what's his face had nothing to do with. But actually, I think the best screen Superman at the moment is this dude in Superman and Lois. If you've never watched it, watch it. He is quite good, and I like Henry Cavill. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Henry Cavill. I like Henry Cavill. I respect Henry Cavill. I like him in almost everything I've ever seen him in. The trouble is with Superman, it wasn't right.
Okay. Nah, Buffer disagrees. He says Nick Cage was the best Superman with his
mullet. Would still pay money to see that.
I would pay money to. I wouldn't say he's the best, but I'd definitely be interested.
Yeah, look, I'm a big Nick Cage fan. We're both big Nick Cage fans here. Not saying he's a good actor, but I love Nick Cage. I still do.
Chuck has said, I can think of something really bad. Really bad stuff in the cinema. Ishtar. Shit.
Not sure what that is. But Madam Web is definitely meant to be one of the worst movies ever made.
Chad. I have no idea. I imagine he's probably talking about things. I don't know. Rachel fucking Ziegler, I imagine. Horrible. Oh no, sorry, hang on a second. Right. At least MW has. Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you, Madam Web. It's probably better to watch the footage from the red carpet than it is to watch the film. Trust me.
Really? Dakota? Really?
Oh, no, there's another one in there. And she's...
Yeah, no, that's the one I'm going for. That's it, Sydney Sweeney or whatever her name is. Yeah, I'll go for that. You should watch the premiere. Trust me. Watch the two of them together. You ain't going to be staring at Dakota. Trust me.
So, Be a Stupid Gamer says, Keith wants me dead. Lol. That's how he wants. That's what he wants to address.
No. Look, I get it. Everybody, I understand why people like Henry Cavill's Superman. I think he could be the best. I think he could, given the chance. Never got the chance.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to go here. The BAFTAs aired for 2 hours before it was streamed online. And all I did was Google the winners. I'm with you. Just have a look at that. Yeah.
It was terrible. I didn't watch it. I saw the David Tennant's opening thing and it was terrible. And it could have been funny, but David Tennant, no. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's all right. It's sorry. Michael J. Fox is awesome, and it's so sad simultaneously. I get that. In other words, the BAFTAs was on a 2-hour delay. Yeah, so imagine just someone got slapped inadvertently, and it made the news. Back to the Future is one of my sci-fi favourites. Yep. Imagine if that would be great if he slapped Jada Pinkett Smith. Make it happen, someone somewhere. Make it happen.
Although, I mean, we waited a year for Chris Rock to come out and say it. And if you have not seen that special, I suggest you go and say, because he did everything but slap her. He virtually slapped her, and it was glorious and magical to watch. And then to see what's his face, who we were talking about, David Chappelle, talk about it, because obviously something happened to him similar. Again, brilliant.
Okay.
But yes, no, I would love. I would pay money for that.
I would.
And then
Right.
Doc coming out going, Marty!
What have you done? We gotta go back to the future. So back to Rachel Ziegler winning the action thing. Yeah. And then followed up with don't watch it. They're all you're right. They're all nonsense. The only one that I'm really interested in is the adverts on the Video Game Awards where they play the trailers, because I get to see new games. So we got that there. Is this new chatty corner? Yes, this is a new chatty corner. It's in between our things. So I'm going to stop the chat now, and we're going to go. And I'm going to get on my soapbox for a bit. Not too long. And it's all about shit TV shows. And back in the days of network television in the States, these would have been cancelled quite quickly. So, one of my favourite TV shows of all time is Firefly. Really like it. Western set in space. Fantastic idea, yeah? Didn't watch it when it first came out. Watched Serenity first, and then went back and watched Firefly's TV series. Really good. The problem was that it was cancelled after like 8 or 6 episodes? 12? No. Maybe it's 12.
It got quite a few episodes.
You got quite a few, so it got cancelled mid-season. Now, in the good old days of network television, you had to have syndication, which means you had to have, I think, like 22 episodes plus to do a TV series. And everyone who worked on that TV series would just work on that TV series, and they'd get 2 months off a year where they could do an indie film or maybe do a film of sorts, and have some time off. But everyone pretty much worked on that thing inside and out. They'd sort the scripts out and da-da-da. And if it wasn't any good, it would die. It would die. It's none of this nonsense where you've got fucking Netflix where it buys 3 seasons of something which they don't even know if it's any good. Yeah? That's got a fucking end, because I saw my brother Duncan sent me clips from the new fucking Halo Season 2 season. Shit.
You're not going to like...
I don't like Halo. I think Halo's an average game that's overrated, yeah?
I really...
But even... Hang on a second. Hold on. Wait. Even as someone who recognises it, you can recognise that the fans like that bloody game, and you pissed all over that, and that's not good. Because how the fuck did it get Season 2?
Because there's a lot of people that are watching it that have never seen the game, and if you don't...
Hang on, hold on. Keith. How many people are actually watching it? And this is the beauty of network television.
My dad is, and it's doing quite well on Paramount Plus apparently in the UK.
Hold on. No, it's not. Do you know why I know it's not? Because we know the viewing figures.
Do we?
We do not know the viewing figures because it's not doing very well. That's the beauty of network television. You would have got the Nielsen ratings, and you would have got the viewing figures for the Nielsen ratings, which you don't do now.
I would
Bring
like
back network
to
television.
understand. I would like, other than the fact that it doesn't follow the game, why is it so terrible?
It's shit. It's painful. I find it disrespects the source material. What you should have done is you should have hired Steve Downs to do the voice, and you should have hired a movement specialist, yeah, like an artist who likes to pretend he's a robot or shit, to do Master Chief. A tall fucker, yeah, like you get to do most aliens in creature features, to play Master Chief, and then just had Steve Downs do the voice, and then is it Jennifer Hale does the voice for Cortana? I'm sure it's Jennifer Hale does the voice for Cortana, and just had her do the voice for Cortana. It's just simple. And I don't know why they couldn't do it. Anyway, there is a great video by Paul Chatto. Explains this a lot better than I can.
Please tell me he talks about Lord of the Rings. Because that, I don't know how that...
And we've lost Keith. Vince fucking kicks me off the street. Get back here, you tart.
I didn't do that. It just
you did that?
No, I didn't. Didn't do anything.
You did.
Didn't touch.
Anyway.
I didn't touch my mouse.
Anyway, I've had my little rant on my soapbox.
I want to mention one thing just before. there was an article came out this week. I'm not even going to mention his name. Writer of Game of Thrones criticizes Lord of the Rings, original Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf was resurrected. And there's people agreeing with him. You are not allowed an opinion on fucking anything. You are not allowed an opinion on anything. It doesn't matter whether you're right, you're wrong. I don't care. You are wrong, by the way, and you're an idiot because you don't understand why Gandalf came back, because he wasn't resurrected. It's a different character, you moron. You are not allowed an opinion on anything. Write your fucking book. Then you can have an opinion. You can't.
Hang on, was that George R.R. Martin?
Yes, I'm not saying his name. I'm not giving him. I don't respect him enough to say his name. Right? You conned people into reading all your books because you told them. You told them at the beginning it's going to be this number of books, so everybody started reading it. Where is it? You lazy prick! Don't go criticizing one of the greatest writers of all time. You are not allowed an opinion, Mr. Martin. Shut the fuck up. Thank you. Soapbox
okay, all right. You've had your rants. We need some animations to separate these bits out for our little rants and bits. Okay. So we want to end on some nice stuff. Yeah.
Should we do what you've been watching? Because we haven't done that yet.
I was going to suggest that we skip that this week because we're going to do Harry Potter for our next round of stuff. We did Star Trek movies. Really enjoyed doing the Star Trek movies. Forgot how good they were. Even what's the one with the one where they go? Oh, the one where they find God. What is God?
Star Trek 5. Star Trek 5.
Star Trek 5.
Yeah, the Final Frontier.
Even that one
was better than
still better than Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better. It's annoying. The special effects don't hold up, which is really annoying because they seem to hold up a bit better in the others. You got the lines and the halo bits effects that you get around the ships and stuff. So I watched Iron Claw, and you watched.
I've been watching the Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix.
Fucking lets us side down every time. I can't believe this shit I've got to work with.
Are you talking about the good stuff that I've been watching? I don't know. We're going to talk about Stargate Atlantis, but I've been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah. I'm kind of enjoying it. Yeah, sorry, I don't
kind of enjoying it. You know what? I don't like Avatar. Full stop. I really can't stand it. Avatar's the reason I haven't watched One Piece. Because One Piece reminds me of Avatar, and I don't like Avatar.
One Piece, you need.
I know. I know. I've been told to.
I'm kind of enjoying it, but I don't know the original source material. So what can I say? Apparently, it doesn't follow it. Apparently, they've changed the character of Aang to make him less childlike. And everybody's up in arms because it doesn't respect the source material, but I saw an interview with the showrunner, and what he says kind of makes sense. But look, people are butthurt by it, but I've been enjoying it. What can I say? But we should talk about the good thing.
Let me talk about Iron Claw, and then we'll talk about things. So I watched Iron Claw at cinema. It's like a biopic about a wrestling family called the Von somethings. I can't remember. Not the Von Traps. All I know is not the Von Traps. I watched that, and it's depressing. It's a good film, but it's depressing as all fuck. So you got a wrestling family, and they've got 4 boys, but they've only got 3 boys because the eldest died when he was a child, which is tragic. And then it goes through the things where you follow who's the eldest, who's played by I can't remember his name. He's in bloody Baywatch, and he's been on the roids. He's clearly been on the roids, and I can't remember who it is. And if you follow the family, and all of them get into wrestling. So you got the eldest gets into wrestling. You got the second oldest. Sorry, not the eldest. Second oldest that gets into wrestling. Then you got the third oldest, who's a discus person who was supposed to go to the Olympics, but they cancelled it because they didn't want to help the Soviet Union back in the 80s in the height of the Cold War. So he missed out on that. He became a wrestler, and you watch this whole family, and it's tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, yeah. And it's like when there's a bit where they introduce a gun, and I'm like, it's just such a cynical fuck. Who's getting shot with a gun? Yeah, it's like, hey, Dad, I bought you this limited edition single action army, and yeah, something's going to happen later on with that. And one of the brothers, and the worst thing is it's a true story. Yeah, the whole thing is that makes it even worse that it's a true story. One of the brothers had internal bleeding. He went to Japan and he died in his hotel room, which is awful. Another one blew his brains out, and then another one took a load of pills and committed suicide. And then one of them managed to survive and have a healthy relationship, and their dad was a bit of a bastard. Now, when you talk about the sporting families like the Williams sister and Tiger Williams and Tiger Williams, Tiger
Woods.
Woods, thank you. Tiger Woods' father, and they talk about how their parents were very dumb, and it was drilled into them from an early age that they need to do X, Y, and Z. That's what the father was like with it, and it was terrible that this happened. And yeah, it's worth a watch, but it's not a happy film.
Yeah, I saw a trailer to it. I just want to. Can I ask you a question, Laurie, quickly? Did you see the 2-play version of it or the 1-play version of it? Has Tanith ever seen that on stage?
Yes, Tanith's seen it.
Did she enjoy it?
Yes, she enjoyed it. Apart from Hermione, who she said was shit.
Yes, because the thing is, when you read the script of it, it reads like really terrible fan fiction.
But when it is very terrible fan fiction.
It does read like terrible fan fiction. But I hear that when you see it live on stage, that it's completely different and quite kind of magical.
Oh, there were some bits that she that Tanith was said that was really good, like the bit where they're on the train and they get attacked and the Dementors when they turn up, but they had to have a massive. I think it went on for like 4 hours. They had 2 hours and then a break in the middle, so they could go and get some lunch. But yeah.
It's because I know that it was originally in 2 parts, but and I'm kind of gutted I didn't see it, but I was put off it when I read the script, and I said I've seen better fan fiction than this, but I think it translates better onto the stage. Anyway, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard the effects were good. Let's talk about, because we were talking about this, that we always want to finish now on something cool or something happy. And yes. Both me and Gareth have been sick, and it turns out that probably we were both browsing YouTube and came across the same damn clip, and then decided to start watching a show.
No. I bought Stargate Atlantis on Amazon Prime digitally during COVID, so I thought, fuck it, I'll watch it before they remove it.
I started watching. In fact, I watched SG1. So I watched the last 2 seasons of SG1 because I saw a clip and remembered, Ben Bowder in it, and I go, oh, I remember that. And then I watched the 200th episode where they did the tribute to Farscape, and I'd forgotten that, and that was really good.
Oh, that 200th episode was absolutely fantastic. I really loved that. It was,
and then I went, do you know what? Screw it, I'll watch Atlantis again, and I started watching Atlantis season 3, and I thought, actually, I can't remember how Atlantis starts. So I went back and watched it. I realised that actually Atlantis season 1 was pretty bloody good. But I understand why they got rid of
Rainbow Frank, or his name, Francis.
Yes. Yeah, that character. And brought in your wife's dream pinup. By the way, I have him in Lego form. I nearly sent her a picture the other day because I've got the Lego ornithopter from June, and one of the minifigures is him.
Oh right. Oh no.
He's not as sexy in Lego, mate.
It's
go on.
I've met who's the guy who plays Joe Flanagan? Is it Joe Flanagan? Yeah,
Joe
Flanagan who plays Stingy.
Yeah,
I've met him in real life.
It's Joe Flanagan that plays. Yeah, his name. Yeah, he's meant to be a really nice dude.
He's tall. He's really fucking tall. You don't see it. He's tall.
But he's meant to be a really cool dude.
Yeah, I met him briefly. It was just like kind of, hey, picture. Thank you very much. I'm off. So yeah, I did that. But yeah, I've been watching that. I started from the middle, and then just jumped around a bit. It's like, I watched this. I enjoyed this. I went back here, and it's really good. I think my favourite season is season 4 with Samantha Carter in charge.
Yeah.
and it's like it's just great because she managed she was there for like God knows how long, just getting shit done. She almost, if she'd have stayed on for another season, that season they'd have finished off the Wraith. I swear to God, because the way that she got things sorted. And I kind of like that too, because it was like Rodney and her, and it was like when she turns up, when he has we get to talk about the whole sexual tension thing, and she's like, "What sexual? You feel horny and I feel tense." I love that. And then there's some good bits in there, and you've got a guy called Christopher Heyerdahl in there who usually plays the tall, skinny people, and that I miss that, and it was
He
good.
Was in it a couple of times, so he played one of the Athosians as well as the Wraith.
He played one of the Athosians. He played one of the Wraiths. He played Todd as the Wraith.
Yeah, and it had what's his face as Michael from Enterprise. Yeah, and he was quite a good bad guy. And I mean, I'm with you. I think the first season is quite good, but then Elizabeth Weir gets a bit grating. So I kind of get why they got rid of her. And you're right, when Samantha Carter came in, it made more sense. And she's been critical, they were more loyal to the original characters. Yeah, they probably were, because we had 10 years of her. And at the end of the day, Samantha Carter was and is still, you're one of the best examples of a strong, good female character, because she had flaws, she was written well, and she was believable.
Yes. It's like, what's it? Tori Higginson, I think, who played Elizabeth Weir. She plays a character in Dark Matter who is like a corpo agent, and she's brilliant. She plays a bad guy much better than she played Elizabeth Weir. She did such a good job with that. She was like really kind of like, you couldn't trust her, and you couldn't trust her, and she knew that you couldn't trust her, and it was just delivered so well. And it's annoying that she didn't have that kind of opportunity there. And it's a bit frustrating, because there were a set of bad guys that they were going to introduce, which were like the cyborg bad guys that they had when they did I think it's called the Daedalus effect, where the Daedalus is jumping through universes, and they get attacked by this new race, which are like their version of the Borg. And we never got to see them. And then you had the what were the grey aliens called? The Asgard.
Yes.
It was Asgard, yeah, the Asgard.
Yes.
So you had the lost tribe of the Asgard. They were going to be more part of it. It's funny because Joe Flanagan, when they cancelled Stargate Atlantis, I think he had secured some bits. He secured funding and bits to go film in Ireland, though. So they'd have to move the whole Canadian production thing to Ireland for tax credits and this, that, and the other. And they couldn't do it. But there is some funny stories. One of the funny stories is, do you know how Robert Picardo got into Stargate Atlantis?
Well, he was in SG-1, but do
you know how he got into Stargate Atlantis? No. All right, so it goes like this, yeah. Amanda Tapping quit after season 4 so she could go off and do her own thing, because she wanted to be an executive producer. Yeah, Sanctuary, yeah. So she did that. Robert Picardo's neighbours with, I can't remember which one of the producers, and he just went around to his house and knocked his door and go, Robert, I need your help. And he just asked him like that. If you ask Robert Picardo how did he get the job, he knocked on the door and asked him if he'd do it. So I love that little kind of story there for that. And it's slightly right. It's an awful thing to say, because it is what do you call it? It's network television, which I said earlier, and it got cancelled after 5 seasons. So we got a good run. 5 seasons is a good run. Yeah, if you make 7 seasons is the target. If you hit 7 seasons, you've done well. If you got 5 seasons, you've had a good run. And it had 5 seasons, and it was fantastic. And I enjoyed most of the episodes and the recurring characters. You had the dodgy fella. Who's the dodgy one who just like is a big con man, and he's just shagging his way around the universe. And he was in the original Stargate film as one of the researchers.
Yes, he was. Oh,
I can't remember the actor's name,
because at one point he gets one of the shields that Rodney had in mind. Yeah. And
then you've got Collier, played by I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in Goonies.
Yes.
You say got Collier, and they had some great characters in there. There's some good things. It just took me away. Like, I want my entertainment to do, which I can't do today.
It's funny because I've watched a hell of a lot of Stargate over the last few weeks, because I just haven't been able to do anything. And I know that you like SGU, but I can't. Having watched SG1 and Atlantis again, SGU was a misstep.
Right.
You shouldn't have cancelled. You could have had it on alongside Atlantis, but not cancelling Atlantis for that.
The reason they put SGU together is because they finished off Battlestar Galactica and they needed something gritty. And that's the reason they wanted to put something gritty in that time slot. And they went, we can do Stargate gritty, and we can get some actors in here who be capable of doing more grittier stuff. You can't buy season 1 of SGU on Amazon.
I've got it if you want it.
Fine. Oh, if you've got, yes, please. I would love that.
I've got season 2 as well. But I can't. It doesn't work for me. I love what's his face in it. Robert Carlyle was good in it.
Oh yeah,
and I get it, and I get why people like it. I like Battlestar Galactica, but it didn't fit into Stargate for me. Again, there's episodes where you've got General O'Neill back, and that was good, but they toned him down, and I've seen some interviews with him recently, and he said,
So Michael Shanks. I saw an interview with Michael Shanks where he's talking about Stargate Universe, and he turns around and goes, the problem we had with Stargate Universe is it was too serious, where we would make fun of ourselves from time to time, and we wouldn't take it too seriously. It was too serious and too on the drama side of it. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, Atlantis just works for me because, and I thought, having got back into SG1 and watching it again, I thought, I think this is my favorite. Then I watched Atlantis again and I went, you know what? No. I love O'Neill. I love Sam. I loved the pairing. I loved Vala and Ben Bowder back as that. And that works for me. And there's some brilliant episodes with them all in. But actually, Atlantis had better, even though there were like 20 odd episodes, it had a much better episode, a lot more good episodes in a season than Stargate SG1 did. Although the big two-parters of SG1 were really good, and when Don S. Davis left full time and he left for health reasons, and that was one thing I that they did in SGU, which I did like. One of the latest ship was called the General Hammond, which I thought was nice. But I liked them bringing in Bu Bridges as General Lowdry. I really liked him.
I liked it when you had the crossover one where they got kicked out of Atlantis and got sent back to SG1, and like kind of Rodney and what's his mush? Not Mitchell. Mitchell was the one from Stargate 1. Flanagan, Joe Flanagan's character. Yeah. What's his name? I've forgotten. Shepard. After the astronaut, after the guy they strapped to a rocket and fired into space. Well, good luck, mate. With Shepard, he what do you call it? Because they were still talking to each other, but the others were like kind of a bit separate and all over the place. I really enjoyed that, especially the bit where they get back to Atlantis and O'Neill and Robert Picardo's character are still there. And he's like, kind of, I need you to Richard Woolsey, and he's like, kind of, I need you to release the jumper bay. He goes, it's underwater, like that. It goes, you're gonna have to hold your breath. I goes, do you know what button it is? And he's like, kind of comes back, goes, did you do it? He goes, no, I didn't do it. Because then it worked, and it was just entertaining, just fun. I watched fun. What's wrong with fun?
I know,
people?
And there was the episode. So I'm near the end of season 1. I'm 2 episodes before the siege, right? And this is the bit where you fight, and they're searching for a 0-point module, ZPM, right? And they've got that Jedi fucking dude, the general that took over.
Meaning.
Yeah, no, the other guy that took over Atlantis in mid season 1. Collier, that's it, right? So there's a bit where they're working out the puzzle, right? And Rodney and they've got this 9 set of squares, right? And Ron and like, Collier's going to shoot one of them, and like Shepard's got seconds to work it out, and he figures it out, right? And Rodney's just looking at him going, how did you do that? He goes, well, it's a similar thing that I had to a test when I did the Mensa test. And like Rodney's like, suddenly, right, Rodney doesn't give a shit. He's about to die. He's like, what? You did the Mensa test? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I passed it. I just didn't want to join. And Rodney can't get his head around that. And it's brilliant because like Rodney's really butthurt by the fact that actually Shepard was and is quite an intelligent guy. And that's the first episode where you really see it.
He's
and
in
it was good.
He's in the Air Force. He has to have a base intelligence of 115 IQ plus.
But well, it's 140 plus. But you get it in that, and that,
for Mensa,
that again
it is,
changes it a bit, and I like that. But I always liked, like, there's an episode where Rodney, although you wouldn't get away with it.
Oh, now. Can I mention my favourite Rodney reference?
Yeah.
Do you remember the episode where they find the automated gun that's drawing power from space?
Yes.
As a 0 point thing, yeah? And he blows up a star system, and they keep referring back to every time he's blown up a star system. There was one episode where I think you come across, like, Ronan's old crew from I can't remember the name of the characters. Whatever planet he was from, yeah? And it's like, kind of, how many Wraith have you beat in hand-to-hand combat? To which he should have replied, how many star systems have you blown up? I've done one. Whole star system. And I love it. It's always referred back to as that thing where he fucked up.
Carter blew up a star, and they keep mentioning that to her as well. She blew up a star early on in SG1. But no, I'm butthurt by the fact now that they cancelled Atlantis when they did, because...
No, I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not. I'm more butthurt by the fact that we were supposed to get a television movie called Stargate Atlantis Extinction, which we never got. We got Ark of Truth and the other one from Stargate, but we never got the Atlantis one. That's the bit, because if you'd have just put a bow on it, I'd have been quite happy. But hey,
no,
the funny thing is that the Pegasus Galaxy is closer to us than the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yes, I did know that.
Because it's a dwarf galaxy, no one really gives a shit, because Andromeda's massive.
But they are trying to do one, and I hope they continue it and don't reboot it. I mean, if you're listening, Amazon, which you're probably not, but if you are, don't reboot it.
Right, no. Back. So what they're planning on doing is doing a whole new TV series.
Well, but I've heard that they're going to do it in the same. They are not going to reboot it.
They're going to do it in the same kind of. They're going to do this. They're going to do it in the same kind of vein, but it's going to be a whole new TV series. But you'll have recurring characters from Atlantis and Universe and whatever.
Yes, because what we've heard, Richard Dean Anderson on stage last year turned around and said, "If I work with this bunch of people, I'd come back." And he said, "I wouldn't be full time, but I'd come back." And I'm like, I'm there for it, because they all look quite old now, but fuck it, they all work on stage even now. Like, there was one con that they did last year where it was Amanda Tapping, Richard Dean Anderson, Michael Shanks, and then what's his face, Hewitt, that plays Rodney, and Joe Flanagan, and it was brilliant. I mean, and the camaraderie between them was brilliant. Season 4, I think you're right. Season 4 of Atlantis was the best. I think I agree with you.
The one where Rodney gets trapped with the Doctor, Sam, and himself, and they put the thing 3 ways so they can create a tower so they can go up through the hole.
Yes.
That's a bottle episode, and that's even good as a bottle episode.
Yes. Yes.
It's just it just did what TV should always do.
Yeah.
Just take you away and give you an adventure, make you forget the world.
I'm with you on it, because it was the perfect antidote to feeling like absolute shit the last couple of weeks. So it got me through it, and I'm forever grateful for it. And I'd forgotten how much I loved Stargate, and I still do love Stargate. It was brilliant TV. It wasn't super serious. It wasn't gritty. It was by today's standards quite diverse. But it did it in a very good way.
Because we had fucking diversity beforehand. We didn't have to say anything. We just enjoyed the TV.
SG1
the woman
was brilliant.
The woman who played Taylor, I can't remember her name. She's quite nice looking.
She still is.
She's a proper fit too.
She still is. She still is. She's pretty.
Anyway, let's do some comments, and I think we should then wrap up. Yeah, because we've got like 47. They've been chatting away in the.
Well, they've gone into the thing. Chat, right? He hates musicals. I kind of like some of them. They've seen Wicked.
It's gay. He's secretly gay.
5 times. Yeah, well, that's because I knew the person that did it. Yeah, you're right about. Hang on. Being
gay.
Well, I'm not gay, but I like musicals. How to Be a Stupid Gamer. That's us with the Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, I like Phantom of the Opera. It's spectacular. I saw it with Michael Crawford, and who was the best, by the way. I've seen Wicked. Trailer for the new film looks Not sure. Kinky Boots.
Right.
See, I think you would enjoy Kinky Boots.
I've watched Kinky Boots, the film, but not the musical.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm just a musical. It never does make any sense. Anyway, let's talk about some. So I can't remember where I was in the comments. I think very good movie. Oh, it's a reference to a TV show that we watched when we were children called Heartbeat, and when they have the gallery and they show the children's pictures, they would do that there. I need the bloody one without the vocals. So back to MW. Fuck. MW, what's that?
I have no idea.
Compact travel, gravity resistance. Shit, that's awful. Firefly was awesome. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Googling is acting odd. Google is acting odd today. Google is acting odd ever since they diversified their AI. Oh shit! We do need to do Top Totty. We've been meaning to, but everything's just piled on because at work we call it the hockey stick, where we get towards the end of the year and all the work ramps up. That's when it's Google odd. If we're getting on a soapbox, I'd like to address the circus midget problem. We hate them all. I'm creeped out by circus midgets. I don't know why. Seriously. Keith does have a lot of things. The Von Erichs! Thank you very much! It was the Von Erichs in Iron Claw. That was the family they followed. And it was Zac Efron, who was the second oldest child, who was the only person to survive the family. Yeah. And then we've got Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is coming out as a movie. Is it?
No. Well, maybe. The problem is there's a couple of problems with it. What's her face that played Hermione has repeatedly turned it down. And Rupert Grint has been on the fence on it. And they need to do it with the original cast. So right now, they are going with the HBO TV series, which is coming soon, and they might then
2026.
Is it now 2026? Is that what it's been?
Early 2026. Yeah. They haven't got a showrunner yet, so they can't do anything without showrunner.
I thought it was well into production now. No.
Oh no, it's in pre-production. They're in pre-production at the moment. Anyway, it was all packed into one show. They were doing it.
Yeah, that was good. I asked them the question.
And Chuck didn't like it too much. He said the magic was cool.
Yeah. I can understand why you didn't like it. I get it. It read like fan fiction to me, but I know people have enjoyed it, and I respect that.
Okay. The Beekeeper. Hang on. Is the Beekeeper coming out in cinema?
No,
the Apple one's coming out in cinema.
I've watched it. Yeah, it's an English film. It's blatantly so Britain because it's got what's the face? The head of unit in Doctor Who is playing the American president. You know, the daughter of the what's her face is playing an American
Brigadier.
Yeah, the daughter of Brigadier is playing the American president in the Beekeepers. It's a streaming film, Gareth. It's a streaming film.
Okay, all right.
But you know, 2 hours. Jason Statham kicking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My niece thinks I look like Jason Statham.
What's your niece?
Which is right. Hang on a second. No. You know my brothers. Really like Jason Statham.
Yes.
To have my brother's daughter tell them that I look like Jason Statham more than he does.
Has she? See, I want to take the piss out of you, but actually, your brother's reaction—that's more funny.
It is more funny. Oh, you gotta watch League of Gentlemen. 22 episodes of the League of Gentlemen.
Yes, because it's BBC, so 6-episode seasons. Yes.
Hang on. They did all the specials, the thing. Oh, and then the live.
You see, if you like League of Gentlemen,
hang on a second. The one to watch is Inside Number 9, where they do the fake live broadcast from the Granada studios. If you want to watch something, it's really creepy, really good.
If you enjoy League of Gentlemen, you've never seen Inside Number 9. I suspect you have, Steve. One more season of that, and then it's done. So I'm looking forward to the final season, but there is a final season of Inside Number 9. It's a very British thing for all the American people in the thing. It's very British humor. You will not get it. You will not find it funny.
Okay. This is Wicked, isn't it? So my wife hated it, lol. But we saw The Lion King about a month earlier. It didn't have the same impact. Lion King was amazing. I can't wait to see Jurassic Park on Ice. That's going to happen. Come on, make it happen. It's going to be happening. It is. I make a joke, and you laugh at me now. The reason
you make me laugh is because it reminds me of the Robot Chicken sketch where you've got the Velociraptor director, and it's like and it's got the bit. So you've got this like Velociraptor doing the directing of the other Velociraptors attacking the what's his face, the gamekeeper in the film. And it's like one Velociraptor and it jumps out. Two Velociraptor and jumps out. And then the third Velociraptor, he goes, third Velociraptor, and then it throws this really camp fit because the third Velociraptor got it wrong. It's a very funny sketch. Robot Chicken, Velociraptors, check it out. It's very funny.
David Hewitt was brilliant as Rodney McKay. Absolutely enjoyed him. He was such a great character because he was flawed, and that made him interesting. He's also in. He plays the guy who gets attacked by the rats in The Cabinet Curiosity. But he's quite good. Again,
the fact, you mentioned Rodney Hewitt. A piece of information for you. Do you remember the episode where the a cool version of Rodney?
Yes.
When Rodney's trying to kill you. You know what? That was
with his actual sister.
Yes.
Ace Rimmer.
Yes. I love the fact that was inspired by Ace Rimmer. I love the fact that the writer said, we're Red Dwarf fans, and that was inspired. And that's fucking brilliant. Red Dwarf, brilliant. Smoke me a kipper.
So, to be a stupid gamer, didn't see Spider-Man when it was in the theatres. Robert Cargallo in SGU was great. He was great. He was probably one of the best actors that they've ever had in Stargate.
Look, I like him. He would have been brilliant in Battlestar Galactica or something, right? It just, for me, SGU didn't fit into the Stargate universe. Although I loved Eli. I did like Eli. I love the bit where Eli gets beamed up onto the ship in the first episode. It's brilliant. But again, it was just too gritty after that. And some of the other characters and actors I didn't really enjoy that much. And look, I respect that you you liked it. This is you just skipped over the Back to the Future. I want to see that. I know it's a musical.
No, it's because it's got an act in it. If it's got an act in it, it doesn't involve them. It's between them. That's what I'm doing. We've got like 62 of these to get through, Keith.
I know.
2 favourite places to see musical: New York City and London. That's pretty good.
The only place
Back to the Future on Broadway. Back to the Future was all right. Favourite was Corin Nemec, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I don't know Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I know the name. I know it. But I can't remember anything to do with Parker Lewis Can't Lose. So yeah, we've got same shows in London. And London's pretty good for these things. We Miss Beauty and the Beast. This is all musicals. I can't do musicals. I just don't get it. Beauty and the Beast took the missus. Maybe that show 10 times. She cried when they closed it. Lol. Chat is doing other things. Sorry, Gareth. Lol. They are chatting away there. Glory's good enough to put at in front of it, so I know that she's chatting to people. Oh my god, how to be a stupid gamer. It's alright. Musicals are... No, doesn't make any sense. I've murdered a man. Les Miserables. I've murdered a man. Okay, now I'm going to burst out into song.
Excuse me.
I pulled all my teeth out. I'm going to burst out into song. Yeah, go on.
You've got to get to somebody in the chat, because I've only just seen him. Because we're still going through the chat, but a special guest is in the chat. So I have to do my customary greetings.
Go on, do it. Go on. Click it then quickly. Click his thing. I know what you can do.
Hello, Dave!
Hello, Dave. Buy Dave's book. It's on Amazon now. Bladefoot. Any one of the 3 of the Bladefoot books. Okay. We tried to keep with the podcast, but we tend to go off on tangents. That's fine. MW is Madam Web. Gareth, nice. Gareth's niece. Gareth's niece check is in the mail. I'm assuming. Oh, mail.
Gareth's niece, the check is in the mail. I think he means. For people who are English, you should have gone Specsavers.
Yeah, I say fat fingers every time I make a typo. Do you know I'm a grand uncle.
What?
I feel old. I'm a grand uncle. I'll explain later. Jurassic Park a nice withdrawal. Yes, it would. If we're going to do it, that would be fantastic. Look, and see, I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right, Jurassic Park on Ice. All right. If it comes to New York, you have to visit. I'll be honest with you. There's quite a few. I know like 4 people in New York. Don't know if one of them will want to see me, but I know 3 of them would probably want to see me. That's you guys and How to Be a Stupid Gamer. Nice to meet them in real life. You guys need to... No, we don't want to do musicals. And Kovaction's got fat fingers too. I got towards the end of the chat, Keith. Our triumphant return. It's a success. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Thank you for being patient with us, because we did have the break to do our bits.
We'll polish this format, but we like the idea of doing some news, some stuff that we've been watching, and being generally more positive in a world where Star Trek Discovery Season 5 is coming out. Your soapbox rant earlier, I completely agree with you. But I love the fact that both of you, even though we haven't told each other until today, we've both been watching Stargate. I love that.
We only found that out as we were going along.
Yeah, and I sent you something the other day where I saw somebody 3D, some clever fucker on Instagram, 3D printed a working Stargate, right? Well, as in, it spins around, it does the whole locking animation. How the hell they've done it? And then somehow they've done some clever mirror effect where they've got like this wormhole sort of blue thing. I want that. I want that so bad. It even had the DHD. With sound effects. That's awesome. So yes, if I ever see that, I will find it. But
did you send it to me on WhatsApp? No, you didn't.
No, I sent it to you on Insta.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't do social media. I'm anti-social.
Yes, I sent it to you on Insta. I do have an Insta account. Yes. Anyway,
on that note, on that rather positive note, it's time to say goodbye. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye, Dave.
And we'll catch you in the next podcast. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Catch you later. Bye-bye.